Mishra, a draw for you, but this was an absolutely wild game. You had no idea what was going to happen in the other games before the round started. How did you approach today's game?
Well, today's game, I just wanted to have a fight. Okay, to just play a normal game. Whatever happens will happen. If I lose, okay, fine. If I win, great. Just play a normal game.
And he came up with some blazing hot preparation. It felt like out of the opening, this F4 followed by this F5. In fact, I think this is novelty. And he played a game previously with Castle.
Castle, knight d5, I remember.
That's right, that's right. So you were aware of this.
Yes.
You prepared this as well. Tell us a bit about this position. What was your preparation looking like?
Yeah, this f5 move I didn't exactly know. The main idea is the fight over the d5 square.
Yes.
And here I basically had two counter moves, knight b4 and d5.
Yes.
Because the issue is if you play a move like b5, which is quite thematic, the issue is at some point, like maybe, okay, even here engine says white is close to equal, but I was worried about, like, say, I can just go knight d5.
Knight d5 first, okay.
And now, like, if I play knight takes d5, e takes d5, this structure didn't look too good for me, but maybe I can go knight b8, d7, f6. Maybe somehow I can make this work, but I was worried about the structure, like, if, like, knight b4 fails to bishop e4.
Correct, yes.
And I have this,
stuck.
And he has this sort of bind. Another idea I had was, like, d5 here. This also looked kind of decent, but the issue was, like, say, one idea of this is, like, e takes d5. Now, if knight takes d5, you go, like, even bishop e4. Like this, oh, sorry, bishop e4 apparently it doesn't work, but some structure, like even
some
if,
castle,
yeah, castle,
maybe.
yeah, probably castle, knight c3, bc3.
Yeah.
The structure where white gets a bishop on e4 is actually quite unpleasant because, like, bishop on c8 cannot get out, and b5 is
You don't
always
have a lot of
prevented.
counterplay, yeah?
Yes.
So you chose this move,
Knight
knight to
b4.
b4, and transition into this
Yeah,
one.
I think h3 is inaccurate, like very.
It's very inaccurate.
It's very bad
yes.
move. Because the issue is I think you basically have to go g5 here.
Yes.
And the reason why I played bishop d7 and not b5 is, like, okay, generally in the structure you go b5, bishop d7, but I was thinking that maybe in some variations I can go long castle. So I thought maybe I should just keep the pawn on b7.
Keep the pawn on b7, keep it safe like that.
Yes.
Excellent.
Here my idea was, like, say h takes g5, bishop takes g5. I don't think engine thinks this is a great idea, but my idea was knight g4.
Knight g4, yes, yes, very interesting.
And now, okay, bishop takes e7, queen takes e7. Somewhere I can even just give up the g7 pawn and go long castle. Like
No,
queen
I like
g,
it.
for example, like queen g3, I go knight, like queen h4 it can also exist, but like queen g3, I can go knight f6. Queen g7 long castle, I go rook g8, bishop c6, d5.
And I think you guys were looking, Yasser and Kashka were looking at this type of positions. And he played the move h3 and
Yeah, I think this this a4 move is actually quite nice. Like
he has to play,
yeah,
right?
if he doesn't find it, I think he's like just like basically lost on the spot.
Right, and this was the big moment right here when you decided to take on g4. Perhaps not the best way, but then he played this move, f6.
Yeah, so
Were we saw you watching the clock a little bit in a panic mode. Were you panicking at all, or did I miss this? Or
at first,
everything
I
like
wanted to play bishop b5. I
Yes.
thought like this is like
Yes.
resigns,
Yes.
but the variation is actually quite great. So c4, bishop takes c4.
Yes.
The first thing I saw that was that rook h8, king d7, rook takes d8, bishop takes d8. Now let's say queen takes e4, rook takes e4, f takes g7, and now rook takes g4 and black wins.
Correct.
So I saw this variation, I thought like, okay, maybe black is winning here. But then I realized that actually, here I think it's actually inaccurate to play rook takes d8 because black can play king takes d8, and he's still like, probably still winning actually. But the issue with this is actually rook h8, king d7, white goes knight c5.
Correct.
He forces his rook to c5, then he takes on d8.
On the fifth rank.
Bishop takes
yeah.
d8, now f takes g7. Now pawn
Yes.
queens.
No more taking on c4, no more rook g4. This is
Yeah,
over.
this was a nice variation.
And you started calculating that, you spotted that you played bishop
I thought
to
bishop
f8.
f8, and now this is actually just, this should be winning for black. But the issue is, apparently engine doesn't like this queen f6 move, but I was considering keeping the queen on c7, but I was worried that in some cases white can go like rook h7, bishop h6. Like, apparently it works out tactically, but during the game it seemed very scary to keep the queen away from the king side.
Once you play queen g6, Abhimanyu, you must know that this is probably going to end in a draw. Yeah, you calculated this variation.
I thought,
right?
okay, this was working for me, but I miscalculated, like, in the end, this queen d7.
Oh,
so,
all the way towards the end.
Yeah, because this is all forced. Because if queen g6 works, actually, let's go back to that position for a bit, like queen e4 position. So here I had a choice, whether I go bishop takes b3, bishop d7, queen g6, or basically any of these. All these three moves. The first thing I wanted to play was like bishop takes b3, c takes b3, queen g6.
Yes.
But I was worried that, okay, queen takes g6, f takes g6. Like, this endgame is, I'm up by a pawn, but
Gets the king.
it
to
seemed
d4
very,
maybe.
very difficult to convert here.
Probably, yes.
I thought it would probably be a draw. So, and another, like, there, I didn't want to give up my bishop. I thought if I can get the same endgame with without trading on b3, I should just be completely winning.
Yeah.
I had another
What
idea.
if you go bishop d7?
Instead of bishop d7, I was considering b5 also. It looks ridiculous with the idea of like rook c4.
Yes.
But I was worried that somewhere like, maybe like say g5 for example. This is not like totally accurate, but queen g. But here knight a1, he has b4. Okay, so maybe
take
knight a1, b4. But
Knight
maybe
A1.
even b5, knight a1 directly. But knight a1, yeah, knight a1. Now the issue is if I go rook c4, I just kind of lose a piece.
Yeah,
Like
queen
he goes
f5,
queen
yeah.
f5, takes, and b3, I just
There's
lose a piece.
b3 coming, yeah.
Maybe knight a1, b4 is somehow good for black, but this. Okay,
Not
like
easy
pushing
to,
pawns. But
yeah. I mean, you can
pawn
still
going from
take-
b7 to b4, I didn't see how it kind of helped me as such.
It doesn't make a lot of practical sense.
Yes.
So then you decided, did you look at the other games at this point?
No,
Were you-
no.
You didn't look at
I had like 14 minutes. I spent 8 minutes. I thought this was working because the issue is if I go bishop d7, like bishop d7 also looked like a normal move, but I was worried that white gets counterplayed by the means of knight a5.
Yes.
And knight comes to c6, and now okay, game is already. I'm up by a pawn. I have a bishop pair, but it's still very. It's here like white is definitely in the game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Things get complicated in this one. And you decided to go with queen g6.
I
and-
saw some nice variations here. Like okay, queen takes a6 is definitely the move you have to play. But for example, like queen a2, I could, if someone doesn't see this queen d7 draw, you could think that king e1 maybe this somehow holds like queen e4, rook h3. But instead of queen e4, I think rook c3 is just resigns.
Oh, very nice.
Okay, it's not very relevant, but okay, queen a2 doesn't work.
Well, Abhimanyu, it seems like everything is looking like it's working out in your favor in this one. Arthur, not looking good for him in this one. What about Brandon? This was
Yeah,
the big one, right? You
this
must have
is-
felt those last few moves when he had only moves. Your heart must be racing.
I wasn't really watching this game. I was walking outside. But yeah, this still looks very, very possible to mess this up.
Double-edged, yeah.
Very
yeah.
double-edged. Like rook a3, king g2. Okay, just first thing is okay. F4, rook takes e7. You shouldn't blunder.
Well, you can...
Yeah, you can at least go rook a2, rook a3.
Yeah.
It should be a draw.
Don't do f4.
Yeah.
Don't do f4. Rook takes e7. Yeah, well, Abhimanyu, we'll let you go. We'll let you go watch the final moments of those two last games. And, well, we're not going to congratulate you for anything right now. Maybe we'll talk to you
Yeah,
later.
this isn't how I would want to win the tournament. Yeah, this game I should have found some way to make this work.
Guys, any questions?
Maybe just a
Please.
very quick question, Abhimanyu. I mean, very interesting game. In the last moment, you decided to go king f8 to just repeat, but you were looking at this move king f6, which is very dangerous, and we weren't sure if you are going to play it. What were you thinking at that moment, and why did you not play it at the end?
Yeah, instead of king f6 was actually what I was planning to play at the start, but like when I was calculating this variation from queen g6, but the issue here is queen d7. And now, actually, originally I was considering queen h7, but then I realized queen d6 is mate in one. So this queen takes d6 is a very big issue. So queen g2 check is probably the only move. King d1, rook takes d2, bishop takes d2, queen takes d5. I think I might have seen this far from beginning, but I kind of missed that white has, like in the worst case scenario, white can go queen d8 check, king g6, check on g5, king h7, queen h4 check, and just perpetual. And also, other than this, maybe white has some other moves, and my king is still a bit weak. So I thought, okay, if white has minimum draw, let's make a draw and go back before something bad happens.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe if it was round 3, you would go for some risky king f6, but now is maybe not the time to take risks, as this may be an important draw for the championship. So congratulations, really nice game.
Thank you.
Absolutely, as we're going to just take a quick break as we keep an eye